Hi guys, this is your girl Wakeji Kamore and welcome to Reflections by Wakeji Kamore. I hope that you guys are doing well. Today we are going to be looking at 2nd Chronicles chapter 31. Tuko karibu kumaliza hii chapter, you guys. We are almost done. I feel like this has been a long chapter, but probably not. Maybe it's because I've taken a break in between. If you haven't read this chapter, please pause this recording and read the chapter for yourself, just so that you understand. We are still looking at Hezekiah's reign and his religious reforms and the things that he did. And I actually don't think there's any other apart from of course in the 1st Chronicles, but in this 2nd Chronicles, I don't think there's any other king that has gotten this many chapters. And then this is the 3rd chapter and you're still talking about the same king. Wengine wamekuwa wakipata ka chapter story inaishi hapo. Kuna wengine hata wamepata like a third of a chapter because they were bad kings and they didn't reign for such a long time. Anyway, so what are some of the things that Hezekiah did? So it says that after the festival that these guys just had, the Israelites who had attended from the tribe of Judah, or rather the Israelites that had attended actually went from town to town doing, smashing all the sacred pillars and putting down all the Asherah poles. It says that they went to the towns of Judah, the towns of Benjamin, the towns of Ephraim, and the towns of Manasseh, and they smashed all the sacred pillars and cut down the Asherah poles and removed the pagan shrines and altars. After this, the Israelites that had come from Ukombali, they returned to their towns and their homes. First of all, let me just pause there and just pick a lesson from here. First, I feel like there is such an amazing thing that happens when you are in the presence of the Lord. I'm imagining that these places like now Ephraim and Manasseh, these were tribes that now were like not part of Judah. I'm imagining how hard it must have been for these people to remove these strongholds of idol worship, but it became very possible after the Passover. Watu walienda tu town to town wakibomoa hizo vitu, cut down the Asherah poles. I'm just like, how easy it became after these guys had spent a time in the presence of the Lord. So when we spend time in the presence of the Lord, there are some things that seem like strongholds in our lives that become easier to remove, that becomes easier to destroy. So we, do spend time in the presence of the Lord, and then those things will become easier and easier to destroy. I will say that the king also organized for the priests and the Levites into divisions to offer burnt offerings and peace offerings and to worship and to give thanks and praise to the Lord at the gates of the temple. One of the things that the king did is that he made a personal contribution of animals for the daily morning and evening burnt offerings. You can imagine how much burnt offering was happening here. You guys, there was burnt offering in the morning, in the evening, and probably it's not like one goat. I'm talking about many goats being slaughtered in the morning, many goats being slaughtered in the evening as well. And he made a personal contribution of animals that were going to be slaughtered daily, and also a personal contribution for the animals that were going to be slaughtered weekly and monthly for the new moon festivals, for the annual festivals. Like, gosh, this guy made so much, such a huge contribution. I'm imagining for all these festivals, this guy actually made contribution of animals. And then in addition, he actually required of the people of Jerusalem to bring a portion of their goods to the priests and Levites so that they could devote themselves fully to the law of the Lord. And of course, the people did that. They brought their grains, their new wine, their olive oil, their honey, and all the produce of the field. They brought in large quantities. Yani walileta a lot of tithe, a lot of sheep, a lot of cattle, a lot of goats, a lot of tithes, a lot of things. And these things were actually distributed. There was so much they were distributed. They were shared. It's almost like now people are bringing and other people are getting. It's like a distribution thing. People are giving offering and other people are actually receiving this offering. It was given to all the males 3 years and above. It was given to everybody who would come to the temple to perform their daily duties. Kama unakuja kufagia, kama unakuja kuwasha tuta, whatever it is that you're coming to do, you would receive such gifts that had come from these people who had contributed. It was given to the priests, it was given to the Levites, it was given to, as an allotment of food, was given to families. It was given to, the babies and wives and sons and daughters and people who were coming to purify themselves in the temple. There was so much that was given, that there was so much that was distributed out as gifts. And the Bible says in verse 21, as it ends that chapter, is that in all that Hezekiah did in the service of the temple of the Lord and in his efforts to follow God's law and commands, Hezekiah sought his God wholeheartedly, and as a result, he was very, very successful. So Hezekiah was very successful because he sought the Lord, he worshipped the Lord, and he went to the Lord for counsel. He went to the Lord for advice. It was like, what do I do here? What do I do here? But one of the lessons that I learned in this chapter is that before the people contributed, before the people gave their tithes and their offering and this sheep and the sacrifices, all these things, before they did that, the king had led them and shown them how to do that, because this guy had made such a personal, huge contribution of animals that were well, I don't even think they could be counted. I mean, if he's contributing for morning, for evening, for weekly, for monthly, for annual, how much contribution is he making? And then his people followed. So if there's anything that I learned from this chapter, is that when you're a leader, you lead from the front. You lead by example. You don't just tell people, hey, able contribute. No, you contribute first, and then you show people how to contribute, and then people will contribute. If you are a leader in whatever position, it could be just at home, it could be at work, it could be in your family, you lead by example. You don't lead by just telling people, you do this, you do this. You first have to do that thing. Then you can ask people, or you can expect people, or you can require people to do that as that same very thing. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed, and see you next time.